Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm showcasing you guys my take on dinosaurs. So as you guys can see, I chose Dogmatica dinos over pure. The reasons why, so these are really good reasons, because like I understand that pure dinos is like really cool too. But I felt like what I wanted to do with my list, which was really like supplementing for weaknesses, was I didn't want to make my deck better at what it's already good at. Instead, I wanted my deck to be good at what it sucks at, if that makes sense. And, ooh, excuse me, truth be told, dinos really do suck against Lancia. And it's really hard for them to play through. There can be only one. And also, back rows in battle phase, like Crackdown, Imperm, things of that nature, can stop your OTK and cause you to probably lose the duel more than likely. Especially like Dragma Punishment in battle phase, if you don't have like Lost World, of course. Just certain cards like that. Like, there's a lot of instances where, you know, Lancia can really cripple you to the point where you might not be able to play. There can be only one can stop you totally in your tracks sometimes. Traps in battle phase can just cause you to lose. You play against Altergeist, you know, they have protocol for Conductor, things of that nature. There's just like a lot of things that I know dinos are really good at a lot of stuff, but their weaknesses that they have, the Dogmatica cards supplement for that, because everything I was talking about, you can set up 2 interruptions through Lancia. You can pop back rows with the Nadir Servant dumping Elder. You can there can be only one by either using Nadir Servant or reveal Ecclesia, summon her, no effect, overlay into Tornado Dragon using the Dino that you have, and you'll basically just pop that there can be only one. It's like, I know not everybody plays Lancia, not everybody plays there can be only one, and not everybody's gonna have traps to activate in battle phase, not everybody's gonna have punishment, not everybody's gonna have a crackdown, not everybody's gonna have a compulsory evacuation device for your conductor in battle phase, but I'm just ready for the worst case scenarios. Because like this deck, the way dinos are already, when you draw really strong hands, you can combo through Gamma, Ash Blossom, Imperm, and Nibiru. And also even cards like Effect Veiler, even Ghost Ogre. Like you can combo through like every good hand trap that's worth main decking, that's generically like universal. Because like the thing with awkward hand traps like Dimension Shifter or Lancia is like they're more for side decking because they're not good against everything. But like Gamma, Nibiru, Ash, Imperm, and Ghost Ogre are really good against like the meta. And the dinosaur deck itself, believe it or not, can combo through every single one of those hand traps. Even if all 5 of them are in your opening hand, it's going to be really, really hard. Because like just having Oviraptor plus Miscellaneousaurus and Lost World, like it's going to be really, really difficult. Like for any player, like even if you have Ash, Gamma, Nibiru, and also if you have like, I don't know, like 2 really strong follow-ups, like let's say you have like a godly hand, like let's say you're playing like Dragon Link and you have Ash, Gamma, Nibiru, and you have Safer plus Nocto Vision, like that's like a perfect hand. And I open Lost World plus any way to access Oviraptor and either a baby or Misk. Like a Lost World plus Oviraptor and Miss is insane. You'll combo, your opponent will have Ash, they'll have Gamma, and they'll have Nibiru, and you'll sit there and activate Lost World, normal Oviraptor, and use this effect, declare Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Lost World. Gamma can't be used now, Ash Blossom is turned off, and even if they had an Imperm, you have Misk in hand. And now from this point on, every hand trap they use, Gamma's already turned off, Ash is going to be negated or won't be able to work, and Nibiru will be turned off because by the time you hit 5 summons, you'll already have Doka up and the dinosaur monsters can't be touched by Nibiru. So you guys understand what I'm saying? Even like the most perfect hand of hand traps versus like this deck's good hands, just it doesn't work. Like, it just literally doesn't work. It's so powerful. Like, this deck is so strong with being able to play through some of the best cards. I think, like, Lost World is just so broken. The fact that this card, it plays around cards like Evenly Matched. If you don't play Link Karibo, I think that Lost World, if you don't have Link Karibo in your extra deck, it plays around Evenly Matched. It plays around Lightning Storm because you can't crash the token because Lost World protects. It plays around Gamma. It plays around Imperm and Veiler. If you have Miscellaneousaurus, you turn them off before the Lost World token hits the field, then after that you can't use it. It also helps against Mystic Mine. It doesn't turn it off, but it helps because you're giving your opponent tokens to make it easier for you to combo off. So like, let's say you have put 2 tokens in your opponent's field because they're trying to mine you or deck you out if you don't have a main deck out. Then you overlay 2 of your monsters into Tornado. You now have Tornado and a monster and they have 2 tokens. You out Mystic Mine. So like this deck plays around Mystic Mind, Evenly, Lightning Storm. Because I play Dogmatica cards, because like I know my deck's weaknesses, you can play around Lancia. You can still set up interruptions through a Lancia. You play around Ash, Imperm, Nibiru, Gamma, Ghost Ogre. Even Drone Lockbird, which is crazy. Like when you already hard drew Miscellaneous Saurus, it's so broken because you just normal Overraptor uses effect to search Baby. They draw you on Resolution, and even though you can't search Peel, you can still set up a really, really strong board. Like, oh my goodness. Like, this deck's just so powerful, you guys. So I really like my list. I think Dogmatica is, like, just the best variant, in my opinion. Because, again, like, the weaknesses that Dino have down when it comes down to back rolls, Lancia, things of that nature, there can be only one. Floodgates, like, summon limit. You know, just the potential to dump Elder to pop traps is really good. So, like, you have, like, a snipe off Pink. You have a pop off Elder, and then you can summon Lagia. So that deals with 3 back rows before you enter battle phase. So that way they can't stop Conductor from multi-K'ing you. So like I do think Dogmatica is cool. Another interaction, because I know I'm talking a lot, but like it's really important for you guys to know why I'm on what I'm on, is that like Dogmatica cards force out negates from Savage and Arclight, even Dragoon or the Red Eyes, because if they let Ecclesia resolve, even if they want to lock you out your extra deck, you get knighted and they're forced to negate the knighted anyways. So like Ecclesia always baits a negate and Nadir always baits a negate, and it's a way for you to out Herald the Arclight. Like if you open Ecclesia and Nadir, you can out Herald and Savage before you enter battle phase. Like because if they don't negate this, which is dumb, you just get Elder to pop the card they were supposed to use to negate it, and get Ecclesia and get knighted anyways. So like these are must negates going against combo decks like Dragon Links and Infernobles, etc. So anyways, getting to the list, now you guys understand why I think Dogmatica is the best variant. Because it doesn't have the same weaknesses as pure dinos. So 2 Archosaurs, 3 babies, and 1 pet. I like this ratio of 3. I think the third one does come up for me a lot, and I like just this ratio for me is just like works out better. I'm not a net decker, so I don't really like just go card for people. This list that I have is just my list that I came up with, and it started off as like 45 cards, went down to 41, went back up to 42 to 43. I've changed it a lot through playtesting, getting victories and defeats, you know, just learning from my replays and stuff. And this is the ratio that I came up with, and I like it a lot. Of course, Pankratops is just so insane. It's a searchable one-of that you can also recur from your graveyard, which is just makes it so good in this deck. 3 Ecclesia, you know, 1 Fleur de Lis. I think that Giant Rex is really important. I don't respect that people cut this card. Like, if you cut this card, they're really missing out. Because there's boards, like, with my combos with Lost World, is why I think this card is just so broken. I mean, of course, like I said, this card plays around Ash, it plays around Gamma, it plays around Imperm when you have Miscellaneous Saurus. This card plays around Evenly and Lightning Storm if you don't have Link Karibo in your extra deck. This card plays around Mystic Mind. If Sky Strikers don't open a way to access Ray or Area 0, they can't even activate their cards. It's really good against Dragma Punishment. Like, there's just so many things that Lost World's good against. But, like, with your combos with Lost World, you basically get to set up Abyss Dweller or Tornado Dragon plus Lagia or Doka because of Giant Rex and Lost World. So I think that Giant Rex is worthy of playing in this deck. Like, it's just too good. If you cut it, I just don't understand why people cut it. I know that it can be risky to draw sometimes, but there is a higher reward compared to the one-of risk, in my opinion. And this card has been so clutch for me, even in hands where I actually drew it as the one-of, and I was able to break an Adamantipator board that had Crystal Wing, Oplucer for 3, Imperm Set, and also Dragoon of the Red Eyes. I broke his whole board, and I set up Conductor plus Doka and Link Karibo, which was like just super strong. And I actually hard drew Giant Rex. I hard drew Rex, I hard drew Fleur de Lis, and I hard drew Driver. So my hand was kind of bricky, and I still pulled it off. 3 Mist. This card is just really, really powerful. It nullifies hand traps. This is honestly why Nibiru sucks against this deck. Because like even if, for example, you just banish all your Dokas with your Extravagance, when they try to Nibiru you, they will only hit the non-dinos that you have. And your dinos are safe, and you can still just UCT them in battle phase. So like this card, it just stops like all the relevant hand traps. In terms of interacting, because I know there's a big weakness with dinos when it comes to their fragiler hands. They're more fragile hands where you just have like Mist plus Baby, and you need his effect to special summon to resolve. This is why cards like Gamma are really good. Another strong interaction is Call By, and then this is why also Lost World is really powerful. Because like when you have Ovi in interactions with Lost World, what you can do to protect Mist's effect so he can resolve is you use Ovi in Lost World, obviously you chain block, and if you didn't already have Mist, you search it, and then you activate it. And what you do is you use not Giant Rex, Oviraptor to target token a pop, use Lost World to protect, destroy a baby. Now your opponent has no choice but to Ash the baby. I'll tell you why. If they don't Ash the baby, you summon another level 4 Dino from your deck and you overlay into Dolka. And now, because they held their Ash, Dolka can negate the Ash on the Misk. So you can just combo, like through an Ash Blossom. So like, I know Misk can be fragile sometimes, but the only time it's fragile is when you draw fragile hands. But when you draw a good hand, the most fragile play that this deck has is Misk. That's the most like, because Misk can't protect himself, but everything else on your field, including Lost World, is protecting like from targeting effects and activated effects. You know, minus like Skill Drain and Fog Blade, but like Misk Graveyard Effect can be one of the most crucial plays for your opponent to stop. Like whether they hold their Ash or even if they hold Gamma for the Graveyard Effect, you know, because they don't know the composition of the rest of your hand, that can be very, very crucial. But when you have Lost World, it doesn't matter. Because also, you could just destroy the baby and summon out the Archosaur from your deck anyways. And now, that's normally the play they're trying to stop is you searching Pill. Now you can just use Misk as an extender to summon another level 4 to make more like Lagias or Dolkas. I didn't have to talk about that. Even if you knew this already, it's good for the people that don't know. Pet is just really strong as a 1-up in this deck. You can play 2, but I don't like too many babies. I think this is a perfect ratio. Pet is just here to summon Pankratops, because like what you do in your standard combos is you use baby a couple times. The last time you use it, you summon Pet. That way now Conductor pops Pet and you summon Pank. And you have like Dolka, Conductor, Pet. Sometimes I just like, when I'm playing against back row, sometimes the better board is to summon Tornado Dragon and detach the pop Lost World, put Giant Rex Engrave, Misk for 4, and then you end up summoning Logia, Tornado Dragon, and you use your evolution pill to summon out your Overtext Quaddalus. And now at that point, when you had a way to get Pet, when your Overtext Quaddalus negates, it pops Pet to get Pank. So you have Pank pop, Overtext negate, Tornado pop, and Logia negate. That's really good against like Dogmatica and Eldritch variants. It's really good against Sky Strikers, and it's super strong against Mystic Mine. That's another weakness that Dinos have that I think a lot of Dino players don't play around. They don't play around Mystic Mine post-siding. So without me side decking into any of my back row removal cards, my main deck can already make boards that beat triple Mystic Mine plus like, you know, I don't know, Afterburner, Widow Anchors, whatever the case is. Like, is really, really strong. Another thing that I forgot to mention about the Dogmatica cards is you set up interruptions under Dark Ruler No More and Forbidden Droplets. Because Forbidden Droplets and Dark Ruler No More are also really good against dinosaurs. Because you can turn off Conductor, Dolka, Logia, etc. But you'll still have Punishment plus Flare de Lis if you had Nadir through a Dark Ruler or a Droplets. And that's still really, really strong. Because another cool interaction that comes up through the Dark Ruler when you have Pet on field is you can dump Elder off of your Punishment. Use her effect because she targets one card on the field. If you read her, target one card on the field. You destroy your own Petit Pteranodon and you summon Pank. So the Dogmatica cards also help you to summon Pankratops on your opponent's turn under Dark Ruler and Droplets. Super big brain play. Next up we have Gamma. This is the only hand trap I main. I feel like it's the best one. It protects Extravagance. It protects Nadir Servant. It protects Miscellaneousaurus' effect from hand. It protects Fossil Deck. People will ash this. It protects Lost World. It even protects Mystic Mine. You just have a lot of must negate cards that Gamma reinforces them. Even if they negate the Gamma, at that point you're just baiting multiple negates. So against Dragon Link, just opening Nadir Servant and Gamma alone is going to force out Arclight and Savage. And now all you have to do is deal with Heretic Dragon of Heavenly Spheres. Which, if you have Miscellaneousaurus in hand, you can just activate it now. And now they can't use the Heretic until you enter battle phase, but guess what? You're full combo since they negate Nadir, which they have to. Why the heck do you let it resolve so that now you can bait both their negates with one Nadir? They negate it, you just summon Dolka before you enter battle phase, and now the Heretic Dragon of Heavenly Spheres cannot bounce Conductor in battle phase. So, like, just this two alone against Dragon Link just beats them before you even use your Dino cards. So, like, this is why I think Gamma's just, like, the best hand trap to main for Dinos. Outside of any other hand traps, this one is more universal for helping you and hurting your opponent. Any other hand trap doesn't work in that instance, but Gamma does. And also, like, I do play Omega, which is really good for Gamma, because like using Omega in standby to return your Misk is good for follow-ups when you have to grind. It comes up sometimes. Besides the Gammas though, 3 Oviraptors, this card is just really, really powerful. Such a broken card. Oviraptor by himself with no other help, just by himself, gets you a secure Gardna plus a Conductor. Because like you just use OV, search Misk, use Misk, banish itself, summon. Out Arch, pop Ovi, search Pill, link Arch in the Karibo, link Karibo in the Gardna, activate Pill, summon Conductor. So Oviraptor by himself is a one-card Conductor, or Pankratops or Overtex. And I know some people are going to hate on me for playing Overtex, but I have my reasons, because I just have respect for the cards that my deck's weak against, and some Dino players, like, you know, not throwing shade or nothing, but some Dino players just don't respect back row. They just, like, don't. Like, they put up boards of Conductor, Doka, Pankratops, and they just hard lose to, like, back rows. They just lose super duper hard to, like, Mystic Mine, multiple Mystic Mines, or they just get baited, or they're, like, just getting, like styled on by, like, back row decks, or, like, Sky Strikers, you know, like, just having this. And another thing with Overtext, too, is that this card is really strong, like, against other decks, including Dinos, because Overtext can negate the activation of Lost World, or it can negate the activation of Double Evolution Pill. Also, just a fun fact, it negates Extravagance and Fossil Dig. So it's also really strong in the mirror match because it stops the power spells. I don't care if they open backup copies to get access to other things. It's just the fact that Overtext is actually really good in the mirror match. People sleep on that. And it's good against side deck cards like Lightning Storm evenly if you don't open Lost World. Which is really strong. So Overtext is just really, really good. It's worth main decking, and I also like its effect to summon itself. I know some people say, oh, you'll break on it, but the thing is, like, if you're more worried about breaking on a one-off, then you're concerned about losing to Mystic Mine and losing to power one-offs, actually losing to spell cards and things of that nature, then you got another thing coming. Because, like, I'll play the risk of drawing the one-up, so that way my boards are stronger against the decks that Dinos don't have strong boards against. Like, most people always go for Conductor Doka, and that's only good against certain decks. So, like, hate on me if you want for playing Coatlicus. But for the boss monsters, I play double Conductor, Coatlicus, and Pank. Funny enough, by playing Coatlicus, I also can just, if I have a strong hand, I can search Conductor off of Oviraptor, and then my ending boards, I can literally have broken boards with Conductor, Overtext Coatlicus plus Logia or Doka, and if I have Dogmatica cards, it gets even better. And if I had a way to get Pet on field, I have basically Pancratop access, Coatlicus negate, Conductor Book of Moon plus Doka or Logia. That also means your opponent can't just, like, if you didn't open Lost World, it also means your opponent can't activate Infinite and Permanence during their standby or like their draw phase to bait the Conductor. I mean, to negate Conductor or to negate Doka. So that way Coatlicus protects your Conductor and your Doka from cards like Infinite and Permanence. But anyways, moving forward, I play double Pill. I think it's correct to play 2. Triple Dig. This card is just so broken. It's so powerful. People are scared of this card. 3 Lost World. This card is one of the most powerful cards in this deck because it plays around Mystic Mine. It plays around Nibiru. Well, not Nibiru, like Miscellaneous Source plays around Nibiru. It plays around Mystic Mine, plays around Gamma, Imperm, Valor. It plays around Ash Blossom on your Miscellaneous Source. I explained that interaction. This card turns off like Sky Striker cards unless they play Link Reaper or Hard Draw Ray. This card is just so powerful. Chain blocking is relevant. Everything about it's good. It's good against Dogmatica. A funny thing that you can do against Dogmatica is like normal Baby Cerosaurus with Lost World to literally turn off their punishment. Like if you have combo, like let's say you have Misk and Baby, what you do is activate Lost World and then normal Baby. And now they only have one chance to punishment. They have to punishment your Baby. And that triggers his effect. So if they don't punishment the Baby, they can't punishment at all. But if they punish the Baby, you get a free plus. So like this is again why like I like the ratio of babies, and I think Lost World's really powerful. Just in general, like it's so daggone strong. Like it's really crazy. It plays around so much, like so many different cards. Like I was explaining, like Gamma, Ash, Imperm, Valor. Like you already can combo, and your combo stops Nibiru. Turns off Lightning Storm, evenly matched. It's good against Strikers. It's good against Mystic Mine. It's good against decks that need their effects to target. Because also in Invoked, Alistair has to target the Fusion to pump it by 1,000, so that means Purgatrio might just not OTK you. I'm just saying, Lost World is just so broken when you think about everything it does, and it's so strong against Zodiac. It's so strong against Zodiac. Oh my goodness. But anyways, Mystic Mine, triple Nadir Servant, triple Extravagance. These are power plays that you either negate it or I get free pluses, so pick one. Either way, I'm getting farther ahead. Terraforming, Punishment in the main deck. I like maining this. This is also the reason why I broke the Administrator board, because I actually drew Punishment. So I drew some really, really awkward cards. My hand wasn't even like broken, and I still broke through Crystal Wing, Verde Anaconda, plus Dragoon, plus Imperm, plus also Appaloosa for 3. And left them on literally just a Crystal Wing and a top deck. And I had Conductor Doko with Link Kuribo. And then Call by the Grave in the main. This is good in the mirror. It's also, again, the same thing when your hand's weird and you need Miscellaneous to resolve. Like, you need it to resolve. You have Gamma and also Call by the Grave and Lost Worlds. So you have 4 Lost Worlds. You have 3 Gammas plus the Call by. That's 8 cards that can help to protect Miscellaneous Saurus's effect to resolve. I already explained how Lost World protects. Obviously, when your hand is just really, really dookie, like you have the 2-card combo but nothing else. You have like Mist plus a baby. Then you activate Mist effect a special, and then they ash you, and then you Gamma them. And they have to have a Gamma now, otherwise you full combo, and you set up an Omega to hand loop them after you combo through the Ash. Terraform is amazing, and then Coatlicus and Punishment. So as you guys see, I main deck cards that some people might not want to play, but guess what? I'm not you, and also these cards have made me win games that I would have lost. I would have lost those games if I wasn't playing these cards. So hate if you want, but I have my reasons. And as far as when it comes down to deck building, I never really just do what other people do. I stick to what works for me, and what works for me comes through practicing and playtesting. So I'm not just throwing a bunch of cards and just saying this is the profile. This is a list that's been fine-tuned and that has been tested and also upgraded. This isn't even the same list I started with. For siding, 3 Nibs and 3 Imperms for more hand traps. Against decks like Infernoble and Dragon Link, if they hand loop me, it can be really trouble. Like, unless my hand is absolutely gassed, because I did a combo against Dragon Link where basically he left me with Extrav, Ovi, and Misk, because he got rid of another one of my good cards. He hit like Misk, Levy, hit something else, and he left me with Ovi plus Extrav and Misk. And I basically was able to not only break his entire board, he had Seal, plus he had Savage, plus he had Union Carrier, plus he had Arclight, but I left him on 1,000 life points after I broke through his whole board. That was just so insane. Like, he was, like, I mean, this dude was, like, really nervous. My top deck was broken, plus I had Extrav, which, like, since he knows I have Ovi plus Misk, and he knows Misk doesn't work against Arclight, he probably was, like, thinking, oh, Extravagance is safe to negate. But anyways, then because, you know, back row, even though I play Nadir, and I do main Overtext, and I do have Pankratops, and, you know, I have cards that force back rows, it's gonna suck if you're up against set 5 pass with Judgment, or, like, there can be only one, or Summon Limit, or Skill Drain, things like that. So I have, like, Duster, Reboot, Evenly, Lightning Storm. The thing with Evenly and Lightning Storm is they're good against combo decks that don't play around them. So I like the side deck. It's pretty universal. As you guys can see, this card is really, really strong. This is for when I know I'm going first. This is another way that I play around Dark Ruler No More and Droplets. I know some people, like, that's the other thing too. Like, again, that's what I say about net decking. People don't respect what their deck is weak against. Like, for example, I could say, for example, Samurai X1's list, he doesn't really play around Dark Ruler and Droplets. He's just going to summon Conductor and Doka and Pankratops and hope it's enough. For me, I'm going to play around Dark Ruler No More and Droplets because I know those cards exist. I know they exist. And I'm also going to play around Lancia too, because I know that card exists, and I know people are going to side deck those cards against me. Dogmaticas counter a lot of those. You also can get Punishment plus Knighted through Lancia or Dark Ruler or Droplets. The other thing too, like, they play around this card. The other thing too is, like, this helps to even further play around Dark Ruler and more in Droplets. Because your full combo, you can just equip this to either an Oviraptor or a Doka or a Logia, because they're dragons. And what that does is, if your opponent doesn't have Dark Ruler Droplets, they're staring at, like, who knows, Lord knows how many interruptions, plus they're getting Buster Locked. And what you do with Union Carrier when you're not Buster Locking your opponent is you literally just equip Miscellaneous Sauruses to your Dinos, and that gives you follow-up. So Union Carrier is really strong. Like, the Buster Lock is just really, really good. It wins games. Like, against Dragon Link, they'd be like, yes! Oh yeah, I opened Dark Ruler plus Droplets full combo or whatever. And you're just looking at them while you have a Punishment and a Knighted in hand plus Buster Lock. So you'll have 2 interruptions plus Buster Lock through Dark Ruler and Droplets. And if your opponent Lancias you still have the Dogmatica card. So as you guys see, my list, I'm ready for, like, all the stuff that I can think of that's relevant. I'm not saying it's better than anybody's. I'm just saying that my list plays around the cards that people should respect. They don't respect Mystic Mine. I'm ready for Mystic Mine. Logia, Tornado, Coatlicus. I'm ready for Mystic Mine. People don't respect Dark Ruler enough. I'm ready for Dark Ruler. Punishment, Knighted, Buster Lock. You know, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready for a lot of the Haymaker cards. I'm ready for, there can only be one. I'm ready for Judgment, Strike, all that. You know, this deck already plays around so many powerful cards as is, like Lost World and Miscellaneous Swords, like I was saying. Miscellaneous Swords plays around like all the hand traps, including the Biru. Lost World plays around like Gamma, you know, Ash, Imperm, Veiler. Like, you just turn everything off with this deck. And then on top of that, I'm playing around Lancia, and I'm playing around Dark Roller Droplets. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, I'm sure people will probably try to comment and name other cards that this deck, that you can't play around. But I think the fact that I can play around a literal handful of so many different things, that's good enough for me. If you want to comment like, oh, what if they have Triple Judgment, go ahead and be that guy. So anyways, for extra deck, ratios are kind of awkward because I wanted to be able to squeeze in Dweller, Tornado, plus Union Carrier. So instead of playing a second Secure Gardener, in order to get a non-Dino Engrave now, if you banish the Secure Gardener, is through opening, you either hard draw a Dogmatica card or Nadir, or you link the Link Karibo and the Oviraptor into the Union Carrier. That's why I also like Giant Rex, because you just use him and your Dino that you summon off Misk to go into your Logia or Doka anyways. That's the combo with Lost World that's so strong, because you don't use Misk to summon the Adamandorn Archosaur. Instead, you actually use Lost World to destroy a baby, and then you summon Archosaur off the baby, and you use Archosaur to pop the baby that you had to start your combo off, and then you basically get to summon Rex off of that, and you'll basically be able to combo off that way. So then you can use your Oviraptor and your Link Karibo to go into Union Carrier since they're both darks. You can even overlay the Rex like into something, or if you had like so many extenders, you literally just use Rex plus a Dino to go into Union Carrier, and then use Misk to banish the Rex and him, plus 2 other Dinos, and then you get another free rank 4, and you can still have like Oviraptor plus whatever you have. Like, there's so many ways to do it, where you're in board, you'll have, instead of having Secure Gardener, you'll just have Union Carrier. You'll still get non-Dinos Engraved. This deck has a plethora of non-Dinos anyways. And you'll have Union Carrier equipping the Buster Lock to either Lagia, Doka, or Oviraptor. If your hand was kind of fragile, or you didn't have enough extenders and you can't do like a big push, like, or whatever happens, you get hand trapped, whatever the case is, you could still, worst case scenario, equip it Oviraptor. But when your hand's nice and you combo off, you'll lock your opponent out their extra deck. For insurance, you use the pill to summon Overtex Coatlicus to play around cards like Evenly and Lightning Storm. That's if you didn't open Lost World. But basically, you'll just have like so many interruptions, plus Punishment, Knighted, and you'll also have Buster Lock, which is crazy. Everything in this extra deck is pretty standard. Like for the Dino place, having 3 Link Karibo is important. Secure Gardener is important. Union Carrier took the place of the second Secure Gardener. I also thought about Pentastag, but you OTK enough already. Tornado, because I respect back rows. Most people would just play a second Dweller, but I respect back rows. I'm just ready for everything. Doka, Lagia, you gotta play multiples. Need multiple Elders, so that way Nadir can always force out back rows. Titaniklad is just so that Nadir Servant can search out Punishment and Knighted, because you just search Punishment off her. In-phase Titan, get Knighted to hand. Omega, not only do you summon this off of Gamma, but this is a really good card to dump off of Nadir. So that way you can use its graveyard effect. Super relevant. Recycle your Punishment, search it again. If you're up against the mirror match and they left the Misk Engrave for follow-up, shuffle it. You can Striker, shuffle Ray. There's just so many interactions where Omega's actually really, really busted. Against Infernoble Knights, you can use Omega's graveyard effect to force Broly to equip to the Charles. So that way you don't have to play around Charles' effect like at all, which is really good. So like the extra deck, it could be 3 or extra copies of other cards, but I just decided to risk it. You don't always draw Extravagant every duel, and then it doesn't always banish the cards that you don't want it to banish. So I like this list. I do have some really good duels to showcase you guys. I didn't Buster Lock in any of them, but to be honest, like, that just goes to show that like the Buster Lock's icing on the cake. Cause like when you don't even need it some of the times, but like when it's there, it's just like overkill, because it's like they normally already can't out your board. You're already playing around all the relevant cards. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of my dinosaur deck profile. For me personally, I think Dogmatica Dino is the best variant. I understand you guys don't have to respect the decks I respect. You can cut Coatlicus. In fact, if you just want to like play pure Dino, you can just literally just take all 8 of the Dogmatica cards out. That puts your deck down to 35. Take Coatlicus because you don't like Coatlicus. Take Rex out because you don't like Rex. And then just throw in a bunch of hand traps because you think that Dinos are not good enough already. Like this deck, literally, I didn't even open hand trap. I didn't even open a hand trap against Dragon Link. I got hand loop for 2, full combo, and I still broke his board and left him on 1,000 life points. Like, this deck doesn't even need a bunch of hand. This is the kind of deck that Dinos is. Like, they don't need like five hand traps in opening hand to stop Dragon Link. Like, you don't even have to open a hand trap. Like, and if they rip your cards, that's fine. Like, you open just crazy hands. So yeah, like, that's just really, really broken, you guys. That's my deck profile. I'm gonna say a quick prayer and I'll be out. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Lord Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus I pray. Amen. Deuces.